Hello, I'm Bretton, one of our MCAT tutors here at Inspira Advantage, where we help students get to medical school and other professional programs. And welcome back to MCAT Bites. Today, we're diving into the fascinating process of spermatogenesis and semen production. These are fundamental topics in reproductive biology and are crucial for your MCAT preparation. Let's explore how sperm cells are produced and how semen is formed. Let's begin with an overview. Spermatogenesis is the process of producing sperm cells, or spermatozoa, from spermatogonial stem cells. This process takes place in the seminiferous tubules, these squiggly blue guys here, of the testes and involves several stages of cell division and differentiation. It begins at puberty and continues throughout a male's life. Let's look at the stages and ploidy of sperm undergoing spermatogenesis. There are three main stages: the mitotic phase, the meiotic phase, and spermatogenesis. So we begin with mitosis up front. This is when we have a spermatogonial stem cell dividing by mitosis to produce primary spermatocytes. And think about this, right? If right away we went into meiosis, well, we run out of stem cells right away. So we need to keep our stem cells and have them mitose and duplicate. So after the mitotic phase, we enter the meiotic phase, where primary spermatocytes will undergo meiosis 1 to form secondary spermatocytes, which will then undergo meiosis 2 to produce spermatids. And notice this is where we have our ploidy change. So this whole time we've been in 2N. Our stem cell is 2N, our primary spermatocyte is 2N, even our secondary spermatocyte is 2N. But once we split into spermatids, now we are haploid. Woohoo, it is officially a sex cell. And then finally, we're going to undergo spermatogenesis, which is when the spermatids are going to undergo a series of morphological changes to become mature spermatozoa. And one of the biggest phenotypic changes here are it's going to get a cute little motor and a tail. Not many of our cells have cute little motors and tails, but sperm cells, they sure do. So that is the whole point of spermatogenesis. It also takes about 64 days, which is quite a long time. This is also a very hormonally regulated process, as are most things in the body. It begins with the hypothalamus releasing gonadotropin releasing hormone, or GnRH. This will then stimulate the pituitary gland to secrete follicle stimulating hormone, or FSH, and luteinizing hormone, or LH. FSH is going to stimulate something called a Sertoli cell in the seminiferous tubules, which will help support sperm production, while LH will stimulate Leydig cells to produce testosterone, which is essential for spermatogenesis. The MCAT will want you to know what LH and FSH are stimulating. The way I like to remember it is LH starts with an L, and so does Leydig cells, whereas FSH and Sertoli, well, they don't match, so they're just the other one. LH and Leydig cells match really well. FSH, Sertolis, well, they're your other two. So now let's talk about semen, because it is not the same thing as a sperm. Semen is a mixture of spermatozoa and seminal fluid. The seminal fluid is produced by several glands: the seminal vesicles, prostate gland, and bulbourethral glands. Beginning with seminal vesicles, they produce a fructose-rich fluid that provides energy for the sperm. Spinning that tail takes a lot of ATP, and there are a lot of tails to spin. And then the prostate gland, this produces a slightly alkaline or basic fluid that helps neutralize the acidity of the vaginal tract, increasing the likelihood that the sperm will actually implant itself. And then finally, our bulbourethral gland will secrete a pre-ejaculatory fluid that helps lubricate the urethra. The thought there is you don't want to waste sperm getting caught on the inside of the urethra. You want some cheap, easy juice to lubricate it first, because again, it takes 64 days to make these sperm. You want to make sure they're all doing their job. The combination of these three fluids with sperm cells forms semen, which is then ejaculated during orgasm. So what is the function of sperm? Each of these sperm will contain a head, a midpiece, and a tail, or flagellum. The head contains the genetic material, or DNA, and an acrosome that helps the sperm penetrate the egg. The acrosome is this front part here in dark blue. The midpiece is packed with mitochondria that provide energy for movement, and the tail will help propel the sperm forwards. Let's go through an example here. Which of the following correctly describes the sequence of cell types produced during spermatogenesis? A. Spermatogonia to secondary spermatocytes to primary spermatocytes to spermatids to spermatozoa. B. Spermatogonia to primary spermatocytes to secondary spermatocytes to spermatids to spermatozonia. C. Primary spermatocytes to spermatogonia to secondary spermatocytes to spermatids to spermatogonia. Or D. Spermatogonia to spermatids to primary spermatocytes to secondary spermatocytes to spermatozoa. Give this a few moments to think about, and once you're ready, unpause the video. because I will be giving you the answer in 3, 2, 1. The answer is B. Spermatogonia to primary spermatocytes to secondary spermatocytes to spermatids to sperm cells. Bonus points if you remembered the ploidy. And I've seen basically this exact same question on the MCAT, so definitely make sure you got that one right. Now for our last example problem today. Which gland is primarily responsible for producing the fructose-rich fluid in semen? The prostate gland, the bulbourethral gland, seminal vesicles, or the testes? Again, give this a pause because I'm going to tell you the answer in 3, 2, 1. The answer is C. Seminal vesicles produce the fructose-rich fluid that provide energy for sperm. Understanding spermatogenesis and semen production is absolutely key to grasping the fundamentals of male reproductive biology. These processes involve complex stages of cell division and hormonal regulation, culminating in the production of sperm and semen. This knowledge is essential for your MCAT success on the biochem section specifically. You can expect to see 2 to 3 questions on this topic, sometimes even more. And I want to thank you so much for watching our video on spermatogenesis and semen production, and I will see you next time.